Welcome. I'm Amy Rahman. In this video, I'll share some of my favorite strategies for overcoming many of the biggest challenges faced by speech device users. None of us remember, but there were strategies we had to learn in order to communicate effectively with speech. Fortunately for us, there was no limit to the number of people modeling for us the techniques we learned to use naturally during interactions. For example, we learned how to keep a conversation rolling and how to jump into a discussion and make sure our own ideas get heard. We learned how to repair communication breakdowns and throw in a little humor. We even absorbed the subtle ways to demonstrate to partners that we are listening and engaged in what they have to say, which of course makes them feel good. These are all things many of my clients have told me they were suddenly struggling with while using a speech device. And let's face it, there are not many speech device user role models to learn from in most people's lives. Fortunately, I've had the pleasure of learning from speech device users for decades who have explained and shown me strategies that work for them. Let's take a look at some successful strategies that we built right into AlphaCore to deal with frequent challenges. Probably the most common frustration my clients express was the inability to interject their own ideas into a conversation. Our spoken conversations move quickly. Clients often told me by the time I composed my message, the topics usually changed. So let's go to the communication tips page to look at a few solutions. The communication tips button is at the bottom of every topics page so you can get to it quickly, right here. So one thing my clients wanted was the ability to stop the conversation until they added their message. We found an attention chime could help with this, although sometimes it took an alarm. Once they had people's attention, they could say,
I have something to add.
if the person was walking out the door, they might want to say,
Hold on. I haven't quite finished what I would like to say.
other times they just wanted to let folks know they needed to add something to the current topic, but everyone could go on talking.
I have something to add. When I'm ready with my message, I will play this sound.
Another common thing my clients mentioned was they didn't like when people only addressed their companions rather than looking at and talking to them. Or if they did talk directly to them, unfamiliar people sometimes spoke to them in an inappropriate way. Here is a message we found helpful.
My hearing and thinking are fine, so you can speak normally to me.
Now remember, you can customize messages so they feel natural for you to say. Other times, my clients needed to teach communication partners behaviors that were helpful and guide them away from others that were not.
Ask me yes, no questions. It may speed things up a bit. When I am saying yes, I will do this. Watch me. I know you are trying to help, but please don't complete my messages.
Sometimes they might even need messages that say the opposite things, depending on which communication partner they were talking to or how tired they were. So for example, the opposite.
It's okay to try to guess what I am starting to say.
So take some time on your own to think about people who make it easy and those who are sometimes frustrating to communicate with using a speech device. Think about the specific behaviors of people that positively or negatively affect communication. Communication partners don't know what helps and what doesn't when talking to someone using a speech device. You are probably the only person who can educate them. Add your personal preferences to this page. Most people are grateful for your guidance and suggestions. Now, in order to keep a conversation rolling, and again, make sure you can express your own messages, we created the questions and continuers page right here. The sister of one of my clients once was telling me that she often felt like when she was talking, he just wasn't that interested. My client wholeheartedly disagreed with this. Together, we figured out that the issue was that he was silent when she was speaking, and most of us actually say encouraging words when someone's talking. Also, he couldn't nod, tilt his head, or do many of the nonverbal gestures and expressions that show someone we're engaged. We created a page of quick phrases that assured her he was interested.
Ah. Oh.
Now, of course, this could be in a man's voice too. You just change that in settings.
Right. Good.
Then we gave him some quick questions to keep the conversation, his conversation partner going.
Then what happened? You have got to be kidding. No way.
Finally, we added messages so he could turn the conversation to one of his own stories or his opinion.
Well, listen to this. Okay, this is what I think.
Another issue many clients have is that because they can't do many things for themselves, they feel like they come off as barking a lot of orders all the time. They wanted some way to soften their requests a bit and not make everything sound so urgent. Well, let's go to the general needs page to look at this. Here you have access to common requests, but also to the yes, no, please, thanks page. A synthesized voice doesn't express a level of urgency very well. We therefore added to the yes, no, please, and thanks page some messages that would help with this.
I need to talk to you. When you have time. I need help. Right away.
We also wanted to have please and thanks on this quick button page because, of course, these words really help soften commands.
I need my glasses. Please. Thanks.
Now, humor is tricky. Timing is important when telling some jokes, so those don't always work well. What I have seen work well for many clients is sound effects. We have a quick way to get to some sound effects in the toolbox. Right here, under sound effects. Part of what makes humor work is it is unexpected. So when something is not quite going right, using something like,
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Oh!
can help. Now, exaggeration can also be funny. So when something goes well, you could use.
Yay!
Oh, yeah!
They can all be funny. And some plain silliness works too, like
Huh?
when something doesn't quite make sense, or a well-placed
Hello?
if no one's paying attention. I hope this provided you with ideas to help with some of the classic challenges when using a speech device. Try out quick button topics and sound effects for yourself and enjoy AlphaCore.